We get to the icon, Cloud Gate. And this is the icon of the city. Just like the Gateway Arch is to St. Louis, Cloud Gate is to Chicago. And this was done by a British artist by the name of Anish Kapoor. And he wanted this to be symbolic of a liquid drop of mercury. Now, alchemists, they were convinced that mercury transcended both the solid and liquid states, earth and heaven, life and death, and of course, time and space again. And mercury sometimes is represented by the serpent. Of course, we have the serpent bridge leading here. In the artist's own words, I love to say that, in the artist's own words, I'm interested in a sculpture that manipulates the viewer into a specific relation with both space and time. And what Cloud Gate does is amazing. Not only does it distort the surrounding skyline from the outside, it changes the speeds of the people passing by it, the speeds of the clouds, it literally distorts your time and space. But more incredible is when you actually walk underneath the Cloud Gate. When you walk underneath the Cloud Gate, you look up, see me doing it here, and it appears to open up into a wormhole. It opens up to a wormhole previous to morphing in to a portal. And you can watch yourself transcend, appear to transcend through the Cloud Gate portals, I like to refer to it. This is a true place of reflection. True place of reflection. And here's my thing I like to point out. Millions of people every year go visit Cloud Gate. They go underneath, they look up, but very few recognize the symbolism. So imagine if a portion of these people could recognize this symbolism, the experience they're actually having, and tune into it. And according to plans by Anish Kapoor, Cloud Gate is going to be around, if all goes well, for at least another 1,000 years. So imagine 1 million people for 1,000 years visiting Cloud Gate. These monuments can't have an effect on humanity if we recognize the symbolism and tune into it. Now, I always like to show some other projects by these artists. You know, were these projects flukes? Or is this what these guys do? Are they tuned in? So we're going to talk a little about British artist Anish Kapoor. Anish Kapoor opens the door. And well, he does basically two kinds of styles of artwork. And one art is mirror portals, as I like to refer to them. Just like Cloud Gate, these mirrors reflect and distort your space and time. He has these installations all over the world. This is one of my favorites, Tall Tree in the Eye. This was actually in London, and Cloud Gate. But he also does wormhole imagery. Portals and wormholes. This is what I mean by it. I mean, almost undeniable. This one cuts right through the hill of the countryside of New Zealand. Giant trumpet-like wormhole. This is called Temenos. This is actually Middlesbrough. And Temenos is actually Greek for a sacred piece of ground. Tells you exactly what it is right in it. It's a sacred piece of ground that, according to the artist, is actually symbolic of a butterfly net. So what we have is a sacred piece of ground where we can go and be transformed, just like the butterfly, symbolically speaking. So what's Anish Kapoor up to these days? Well, we all know 2012 right around the corner, and he's creating an icon for the 2012 Olympics in London, the Arsa Middle Orbit. Sorry, that's a little hard to say. And well, this is going to be right outside the Olympic Stadium. According to Anish Kapoor, in his own words, this is actually symbolic of the Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel. And he says he loves building these kind of monuments. There's just something mythic about building the impossible, he says. And what this monument is supposed to do is, he says, it will engage the spectator as you wind up, and in on oneself. So, I gotta point this out. These are the mascots for the 2012 Olympics that are supposed to come through the wormhole or over the Rainbow Bridge. And, Meet Wenlock and Mandeville, the 2012 Olympic mascots. According to the Olympic Committee, they put out several commercials. These guys are supposed to arrive in the Olympic Stadium on top of a rainbow bridge. And, you know, this is the kind of symbolism we're being fed these days. Time wormholes, rainbow bridges, I mean, time and time again. So I don't want to get too far off Chicago. We're just briefly touching on Chicago. We crossed the Serpent Bridge and checked out Cloud Gate. We didn't get to Crown Fountain up top there yet today, but it's a place that opens and lights your heart. We seen the pavilion. Bottom right, these are the urban activators that used to be there. They're no longer there. And while they are what they say they are, they were urban activators. They would activate the experiencers. Alright, let's look at a couple other cities. Because these Stargate parks and ancient sacred landscapes are emerging everywhere. Stargate, Colorado, the sacred landscape is known as the Garden of the Gods. There's a gateway rock there. There's a Babel rock there. Same symbolism we've been seeing. What emerges is a modern cosmic temple. This is called America the Beautiful. And no, this ain't science fiction. That's a real park up there, folks. It's a real park. The centerpiece of this park is the Julie Penrose Continuum Fountain. We're talking about Stargate parks. If you ever seen the science fiction depictions, there's actually a Stargate Continuum series. And, well, that Stargate Continuum series just happened to be filmed many times at Cheyenne Mountain. Or it's supposed to take place at Cheyenne Mountain. Now, if you look through the real Stargate to the right in the background there, you see Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado. Up top, Stargate video game. Ring-like Stargate surrounded by two owls. Down below, America the Beautiful. Up top, fiction. Down below, non-fiction. Fiction, non-fiction. William really got us all started with this in Nashville. Of course, one of the first Stargate parks discovered by William's Bicentennial Mall in Nashville. Just incredible symbolism found through here. I'm not going to get into these cities, I just want to show you so you can see that they're everywhere. William discovered Stargate Dallas. It's called Thanksgiving Square. There's a Tower of Babel monument, a big golden Stargate at the bottom. You can see William standing in it. You can even go to Philadelphia. Dr. Mark Gray has pointed out that the three main towers in Philadelphia, they were aligned to the constellation of Orion, the city itself. Incredible research by Mr. Mark Gray. Same gentleman, Mr. Mark Gray, along with a friend Scott Onscott, pointed out, well, you're Stargate New York. This is the brand new 9/11 memorial. And they pointed out that the Freedom Tower to the left, those two square reflecting pools, well, those two align to the belt stars of the constellation of Orion. Notice Orion keeps coming into play. If you zoom into the new 9/11 memorial, this is the new transportation hub. Santiago Caltrava is an incredible architect, and he says this is symbolic of a dove. And actually, this is one of the only monuments there, just like in Cahokia, that is off alignment. And the reason being is what he did is at the exact times the planes hit the World Trade Centers, a light will beam into the top of this building, illuminating the entire building. Now, what does the project architect have to say about this? Well, this is what he has to say in his own words. I heard him say this on the Discovery Channel. I just look forward to a time when that space opens to the heavens and I can see the angels come down to collect the souls. Is this a portal? Stargate, a gateway to the heavens? It's what the project architect, Mark Gardner, is, how he's describing it. So,